everyone. Welcome to another episode of Simply Nerdy. I'm your host, Steven. I'm joined today by the usual crew, and we have a special guest, Brett.
How's it going?
And we are here to talk about The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, because a new trailer dropped today. We got to see some new footage. So why don't we go around and say what we all think?
Well, I'll jump in.
Anthony jumps in.
Yeah, I'm going to jump in.
Anthony jumps in.
So, we'd already seen the gameplay for, the creation of the echoes in the first trailer, but the thing that I really liked that they showed was the reverse binding.
Yes.
I think that's going to add some really interesting nuance to the gameplay possibilities. It feels very much like Ultra Hand.
Yes.
But at the same time, almost with more potential, like when they showed Zelda being able to fly using a bird that she'd reverse bound, or climbing walls using a spider. I mean, that seems like there's going to be some crazy cool puzzle solving potential there.
But you can't build your own raft.
True.
But you can fly. You can fly.
It's less complex, but almost you have to think more outside the box. Because rather than being like, I can, if I can imagine I can build it, instead you have to think, what can this do? What would happen if I reverse bound it? It'll be interesting. Anyway, I'm excited about that. I think, and then also it's looking really fresh. It looks to me more slick than
Link's Awakening. Thank you.
Yeah, it's like they revamped it.
Yeah, the visuals look crisp. Oh, Brett, you were talking about
Yeah, I was saying I like the reflections of the shadows. I like it's got that you've got like you said, like Anthony was saying, you've got the like that puzzle, the puzzle feature with like the reverse binding and binding should be interesting. Should make the gameplay interesting. Puzzle solving, think a little different. Typical Zelda game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'd also add to that, like it's taking aspects from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and trying to put it into a 2D world, which is something that I forget which it was. I don't remember if it was the director Miyamoto or if it was somebody else that was part of the development process. But that was one of the things that they were prototyping, is they were looking at the original Legend of Zelda and seeing, what if we wanted to go beyond these trees or beyond these mountains? How would we do that? And they would come up with ways to like build a raft or chop the tree down or some other things that they're now implementing in this game, where they're saying, what if we gave them the ability to bind and to reverse bind, to find new ways of traversal? And anyway, I think it just adds a lot of opportunity for the user, the player, to be really creative. So I'm really looking forward to that. Plus, the music is spectacular.
Ooh, it sounded so good.
The music that is playing in the trailer.
Let us not forget the horse in the room.
Oh,
that's what you do. Zelda can ride a horse in this game.
Oh yeah,
that looked awesome.
That was pretty sweet.
Jumping onto cliffs, jumping over fences, with a little bit of giddy up, and it was kind of cool that they did the. You can call your horse in a completely different way. Seems like every Zelda game does it a tad different, but this one you just drop down a carrot.
Oh yeah,
then in comes your horse.
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
How hard is it going to be to find a carrot? Are they going to make carrots super rare? Or can you just go to a vegetable cart?
Can you steal a carrot from the vegetable?
And I wonder how many calories it's actually consuming, since it's some kind of funky cloned version of a carrot and not a...
Can you clone the carrot?
That's right.
Can you clone the carrot?
Triforcically
modified.
So all it took is my kids seeing a picture of Zelda riding a horse, and they're like, "Yep, we're sold. Let's buy the game."
Buy it. We're done.
They just saw the image, the screenshot, the thumbnail, or whatever, and they're, "Oh yeah, why is she on a horse? You could ride a horse." Oh, that's all I need, So anyway,
sold.
And then we showed them the trailer, and yeah, they're pretty excited now. So I'm pretty hyped for this game. I think it is my most anticipated game this year now. The Mario and Luigi, of course, looks amazing, but right now, Zelda game is looking great.
We'll definitely have an episode on that one in the future. So,
but we're talking about Zelda right now, and honestly, it's looking better and better with every new thing they tell us. Because I remember, with the first trailer, I was uncertain how tight they could design the gameplay around the idea that it's almost more like you're commanding what can attack rather than doing the attacks yourself. But now that I've seen more of it, I think it's just going to be, super clever. So my concerns are largely resolved. I'm pretty excited for this.
They were showing Zelda like binding a spiky item and using it as a weapon. So
battering ram type thing.
yeah. So you can possibly create your own weapons to a degree and
ram it. Ram them.
That's a reference to our playing Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time tonight.
Just tonight. Ram them.
So something else worth mentioning is just how they're going to incorporate Link. We know Zelda is the protagonist. I think it was Anthony that was bringing this up, though, that the potential for Link to be a playable character, at least in, I don't know, in the Dark World or something. We see him fall into that rift. And then at some point, I think Zelda also goes in. I don't know.
Yeah,
It looks like she goes in.
At the end of the
At the end
trailer.
of the trailer, it's the very last shot before they show the final artwork. It shows her make like a little golden part in the rift and jump in. So, sorry, go ahead.
So you heard it here first. There's going to be a depths in this game as well.
Maybe
It's gonna be
some
something
equivalent. Hey, that's a good
Kind
I know,
of separate.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just throwing that up.
It's fun with that.
Almost Link Between Worlds-esque. Kind of.
Ah.
So what I was going to say is I'd heard rumors of some people saying they thought that Link would somehow be playable in some context. Now, I don't know. I think they'd have to keep it pretty limited because since the central concepts are Zelda's unique abilities, unless they give Link something either interesting and that's differentiating enough or make his portions short enough that it would work. But I remember even with the first trailer thinking that the part when he's fighting Ganon, that looked like gameplay.
Yeah.
The moves that I think you could do even in Link's Awakening. So it raised some eyebrows, and then when I was hearing that some people saying that he might be playable in some respects, it's the first time though where I'm wondering how much I want that to be the case, because I don't want him to be like a lame secondary. Like if they're going to include him, make it interesting.
But you don't want him to steal away from
Zelda.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, so like the first time we're playing her as the main character.
Yes.
Right. So there's a part of me that's
down.
there's a part of me that's like,
down, Link.
I'll be fine if we don't get to, but if they do, I want them to make it really interesting and well integrated.
Very similar to Spider-Man 2 when you're playing as Miles Morales and Peter Parker.
Well, it goes without saying this is going to be one of the most highly anticipated games. But sorry, did I interrupt you, David? Were you going to say something?
Okay, I was going to say that I think the rumors that you're talking about, Anthony, might have been based on like an ESRB rating or something like that.
Okay. I don't remember where I heard it, but
Where that's why people were talking about it, because I think the ESRB mentioned playing as Link.
Oh.
So I need to look it up. I need to look it up for sure, but that's where I think the rumors started from.
Well, you didn't hear it here first then. You heard it here second. I think that's about it. Anything else?
There's a
We
short.
already
trailer.
talked about the music.
Yeah, music's fantastic. The gameplay,
Talked about visual.
the footage, the visuals look amazing.
How about the performance? There seemed to be a little
If it's anything like Link's Awakening, it's going to be easy peasy, like phenomenal. Except they stepped it up a little bit. You can tell.
They stepped it up. I'm a little bit nervous. Even Link's Awakening, though, had its frame drops.
it did have some semi-regular frame drops. It wasn't enough to take away from the enjoyment of the game, at least
No,
to me.
it didn't take away from the game.
But I did notice some points in the trailer where there was some skip.
Yes.
But so hopefully that gets smoothed out.
The final things that I wanted to say, with the initial reveals of the game, I think a lot of people were concerned showing these echo abilities. Is it too powerful? You can just build a bed or whatever and go anywhere you want. How is it gonna incorporate the traditional Zelda feel with the 2D Zelda? And so with seeing this new trailer, it's even more clear to me that taking Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, and putting it into a 2D Zelda game. Wonder if some people are still concerned, or have the nail in the coffin for traditional Zelda, maybe. Because 2D Zelda was kind of the holdout. Like, well, okay, 3D Zelda's obviously left the traditional formula behind. Maybe 2D Zelda will be the torch bearer or whatever for that. And
Do you mean traditional Zelda in the sense that it had a very linear approach to, I don't know, attacking the dungeons and getting through the story, or what?
Yeah, more linear puzzle gating, item gating.
I'm sure they'll have ways to do that still, but
That's one thing they didn't really accomplish in the open world games.
yeah.
Is that the item, there's no longer like you get the special item and that's what you use to solve the puzzle.
Right.
Everything is just open. And your own creativity is all you have to do. So some people really miss it.
I really enjoyed that though.
Then I don't know. I've been a Zelda fan for as long as I can remember, but basically. But I like these new directions.
Me too.
They've been taking. And I think that honestly, I've been saying for a while that I think the ultimate Zelda is found somewhere at the crossroads, and I think that they're getting closer and closer to that. I don't know. I guess what I would say to traditional Zelda holdouts is, give it a chance. It looks like it's going to be very creative, and I feel like Nintendo tends to give us their best games when they're letting their creativity run free.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder, anyone? Exhibit 8.
Yeah.
I'm personally in the same boat with you where I've loved both the open world Zelda games, and I think this looks awesome and very creative. Excited to see how it goes, but I can also understand a little bit the people who are like, we miss what Zelda used to be, and it looks like we're not getting it with 2D Zelda either. So
That's fair.
Well, maybe I'm just not very sympathetic, but I remember a time when people were like, every Zelda game is the same. And now they're not the same anymore. Pick one. Or let Nintendo pick.
Some people just can't ever be happy.
You can flame me in the comments too.
Come at me, bro.
I'm with you in the same boat where I love the new open world Zelda format and the creativity that you get with that. I would kind of love it if there was some item gating still. Maybe certain areas you need a specific item for to get to. And I think that would be maybe a good balance, specifically with dungeons.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have an open world feel and exploration, but there can be certain dungeons where you need a special item, magnetic boots or something,
What if you need a certain echo?
That's what I would get to.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have echoes that you can only find in dungeons. And maybe they're not going to be inside of a treasure chest, but, you can't solve the dungeon without that echo, and you can't get the echo without the dungeon. I think they can still do
Yeah, I think so too.
You need to drink a special smoothie before you can continue.
Not that kind of special smoothie.
Also, I will say though, that does bring up one thing I'm wondering, in terms of balance. So they showed us in the previous trailer that Zelda can summon a bed and rest in it.
Oh,
So are you going to need smoothies? I'm wondering how they're going to...
well, the smoothies give you different abilities, is what they're showing, right?
Well, they did say they have different effects. Yeah, I assume that they're still going to have some sort of restorative.
Yeah, potentially.
I don't know. Maybe they won't. But and then that still brings up another thing that, again, I'm not thinking that this is going to ruin the game, but it does make me wonder, is there going to be any challenge if you can just be like, oh no, I'm getting pounded, here's a bed.
Or is it going to be like Minecraft? You can't sleep here. There's monsters.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Or the monsters will just break her bed.
If you fall asleep next to monsters, then you get insta-killed.
You'll get insta-killed. They'll push you off the bed. They'll sleep.
Oh, darn, she's sleeping. You gotta leave her alone.
Like those movies from like Dark Souls, where the monsters are chasing you, but then you get to the campfire.
Exactly. All right, I'll leave it alone. Yep.
Thinking of like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time, where you need to get a drink of water to heal. Like,
Oh yeah.
the monsters can interrupt you.
Yes.
So maybe that's what it is. Like you try and hop in the bed for a nap or something. So you can, that's why it wouldn't work. Maybe it's not a prompt saying, no, you can't do it now, but maybe you'll literally be attacked while you're sitting there prone.
This is not the time to use that.
There's a comic that I think is Breath of the Wild related. Maybe we'll have to find it and give the person credit if we end up showing it. We don't have to necessarily add this to the podcast, but But there was an image where Link gets hit by like a Hinox or Hinox or whatever you say. However you say it. And he goes flying, but then while he's mid-flight, he starts eating a meal, and then he comes back like super strong.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I love it.
I've seen that one. So there are some questions remaining for me, but I think it's still going to be an amazing game.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yep, and it's coming out. When is it coming out? September 26th?
Yeah.
Yep. Dang.
Real
So close. Well, let us know down in the comments below what you think of The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. And if you think you are going to be missing the traditional dungeons in these 2D games as well, or if you're happy with this kind of open world exploration direction that the Zelda team's going right now, we'd love to hear that. And yeah, until next time, guys, keep it nerdy.